everyone. So are we live?
We're live.
We are on Milton's Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting ready to go live on my YouTube channel. So I'm sitting here today with two very special guests. My sister, tell me your name,
Eutrika.
and tell me a little bit about yourself, please.
I am Veronica's oldest sister. I currently live in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and that's a little bit about me.
And Milton.
So I'm Milton. I'm her husband, so live in Florida as well. Husband, father, pop, all that good stuff. I work in the finance industry. This is my first time going live. So we're here visiting our wonderful sister-in-law in North Carolina. And we at breakfast this morning, we kind of had a discussion, so we decided to take our discussion live and just kind of see how this thing goes.
Okay. So today we will be discussing well, as you all know, I am Veronica. Also, I am my sister's mirror. So today we're going to be discussing one of the hot topics that's really a hot topic right now. Before we get to that, just wanted to chit chat with my sister and brother-in-law for a minute. I call these two the traveling warriors. As you can see, the shirt I have on right now says Hawaii. It's a shirt they brought from Hawaii to me because they just came back from Hawaii. So you all tell me a little bit about Hawaii and just, how was it? Tell me a little bit. I wanted to know about your trip to Hawaii.
Well, it was a wonderful experience. This was a trip that was delayed. It was delayed last year due to COVID. So it was delayed, but we still got to go. So it was a unique experience. It was a very, it was an experience that I say, if you can go and experience it, because although it's part of the United States, it's very unique. So just the natural beauty that's there, the people that's there, the culture that's there, it's just, it's something that I'll never forget. It's one of the funner vacations we had. And besides that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just glad that we did get to go, although we didn't go last year. It was it's something that I'll never forget. So it was a great time.
Yes, definitely something I recommend everyone do. It's just however you have to get there. If you have to save 2 or 3 years, or however you need to do that. I know everyone's in different economic situations, but definitely it definitely was a life-changing experience for me. And share something with my wife where on that last day I had some thoughts that God shared with me, and I won't go into detail about that, but I shared with her where basically I want to be in a better situation financially, even though we are in a pretty good financial situation. I believe we can definitely be much better. And God was kind of opened my eyes, just to kind of go to a different level, financially, spiritually, everything. Just to be in a situation where I can serve God more, but also be in a situation where we can travel more, even though we are travel warriors. I want to be in a situation where if I wanted to go to Hawaii on a drop of a hat, or go to Alaska, or go to Europe, or what have you, and stay 2 weeks. I want to be in that situation. So again, I won't get too deep into that, because that's not what we're here for today. But just a little snippet on kind of just my mindset from going to Hawaii.
Okay. Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we will go ahead and get started. So one of the hot topics that you all, I'm sure, have seen on social media is there was a video circulating, and it was of a single mother, and she had posted a video of what I to believe she was in the heat of the moment. She has 4 children, and the children do not share the same fathers, and that youngest child's father had brought the baby over a Happy Meal or a burger and drink from McDonald's, what have you. Now, he only brought food for his one child, and that is why the mother was so upset. So ultimately in the video, what she did was she said, well, if all four of my children can't have any McDonald's, none of them can. And she took the food and she threw it out in the street. So the big question that's been going around social media is, who was right? Was the father right? Was he wrong? Was the mother right? Was she wrong? Now, to follow up to that video, she did do like another video. It was 1 or 2 minutes or so, and she gave us a little more background. What she said, the father of this child, they had been dating. They had recently broken up. And she said, now when they were dating, he did buy food for all of the children. But all of a sudden, now that they're not together, it's just, oh, I'm only buying for my child. So whether that makes a difference or not, I just want to throw that out there. Now, my opinion of it was the father was not wrong because technically he is not responsible for her other 4 children. However, I can see a mom not wanting one child sitting there eating a Happy Meal while the other 4 babies sit there and watch. I understand that totally. So at the end of the day, I just came to the conclusion that both adults were acting childish. Yeah. You all chime in. Just chime in. Both. They were acting childish. I think it's one of those situations where it's a toxic relationship, and the children are caught in the crossfire. So that's just kind of my thought on it. Definitely don't say that the father is responsible to feed all 4 of her children. But I think he was being a tad bit petty. That's just my opinion. And mom was wrong for throwing that baby's food in the street.
I believe that the mother was trying to emasculate the father.
Okay.
So in this situation, there are things that both parties could have done better. So I do believe that what she does not realize, I don't know if the children were there, if they were privy to what she did, but her son looks at his father. His father is probably his everything. That's who he wants to grow up to be. That's who he wants to be like. So when you stand out there, you cuss him out and you call him stupid, and of course he called her stupid, and you do all that, what does that little boy think? That's his dad. So when you downgrade and you emasculate his dad, guess what you say to him? You're the same as him. You're stupid. You're gonna be just like that. So I have a strong opinion on it. I have my opinions as far as the father goes. There are things that he could have done different. Do I think he should have brought food for all 4 children? Yes, I do. So my opinion is a little bit different. Am I saying he was wrong?
Oh, I hear Ever breathing over here.
But a man is a man. And I was taught that a man is a provider.
Okay.
So my father was a provider. When we were growing up and we'd be at parties, if I called my dad at 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning and said, hey, we're here, I need a ride, he'd say, I'm on my way. And not that he didn't just pick up me. If I had 4 friends, he picked them up and he dropped all of us off at home. But that's what a man does. And I believe that these women are trying to get these males who have not been brought up to be men when they're not, because it's not in them. So that's part of my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Milton.
Well, see, first of all, we're playing house, because when you say provider and being a man, those are things that typically comes with the role of a husband. So I don't think that, you're dating, and part of dating is that courtship. Of course, he's not going to, not take care of her kids because he's courting her. He wants to be with her. So no, he's not going to do that. But the relationship, has split for whatever reason. And again, one of the things that we're looking at this relationship in just a 1 or 2 minute, snippet. So we don't have the full, picture of what this toxic relationship, because it is pretty toxic. I don't think that he's obligated to take care of those kids, and I don't think that, we can't necessarily call him not a man because he did not take care of some other man's kids. And where are these other men? Why are you not putting them on blast?
That's been another question going around. Yeah.
So you made it a point to start this video as he's pulling up, and you said in the video at the beginning, watch, he only is going to buy food. So there was obviously a conversation prior to him pulling up. And there's some arguments about him taking care of the kids or not taking. There's a lot more context in this that we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that most men, and probably him too, that if you would have come to him in a better way,
Right.
that look, I don't have any money. I don't get my food stamps until
Right.
this day.
Right.
Would you mind? Can you help me out? Most men, most real men would have done that. I believe it probably was the pettiness and the things that she came out. You can't get something out of a man that you haven't put into him.
Mm-hmm.
So with that pettiness that she brought, that's probably why he did what he did. Now I believe that the same amount of money that he spent on that Happy Meal, he could have went and got one of those $5 Little Caesar
Right.
pizzas
Or something.
and fed the whole family. I believe he
Right.
could have done that, but you when you expect to get something out of a man, you need, there's a certain way that you should come at it. We taught, our leadership was taught on men want respect. Men have to have respect. If you take that respect from a man,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not going to get what you want out of him. So the way that you should have handled that is you should have respected him as a man, and he will give you the world. There's no question about it. I believe if you respect a man and you put that into him, you'll get so much more out of him.
But she said something. It sounded like to me they had talked multiple times, and she said, "You're doing this again."
Right.
So this was
Right.
not the first time
Mhm.
that he had done this. Then she said things like, I don't get my stamps to the 11th.
Right.
Yep.
So they've had some conversations
Right.
over time. So the reason I said she tried to emasculate him, because she came out the door saying things like, "Watch, I want everybody to see, because everybody think he's such a great
Right.
great dad."
Yeah.
So over these days, as he's been bringing food, she's actually built up a certain bitterness,
Mm-hmm.
and this is coming out now. So she could have just, with that same energy, had a conversation before he arrived with the McDonald's and just let him know, look, all the kids need something to eat. If you're not able to bring everyone something, then don't bring anything at all. Or do you just give me the money and I'll go get the kids something? There's different ways she could have handled that.
Or she could have said, you can take your son, go ahead and have daddy, and son time, and just take the one son to the restaurant. And
Well,
feed
he
him.
did offer for the son to come outside
Mhm.
with him, and she said no.
Now, one thing you also said, that it seems like she's building up bitterness. So
Right.
my question is she also building that bitterness up to that one child too, because of who
Right.
his father is? And then I also had the question, well, because she kept saying, I don't get my food stamps. Now, these were her words.
Right.
I don't get my food stamps until the 7th, I think she said.
Something like that.
It has to be hard for a single mom raising 4 children. Should that dad maybe try to seek custody of his one child?
That's
If
good
she,
point.
that was a question that I had. You
Right.
want to add something?
Right. And another thing on that second video, she's all, made up in her makeup and
Yeah, I
eyelashes
saw that.
and the
Mhm.
hair.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, where did that money come from?
Yeah.
And
it looked like she was in a building. It didn't look like she was in a
Right,
house
it
or an
doesn't- it
apartment. It
looked
looked like
like
she
she
was
was
in
at
like
home,
a salon or I don't know if it was a salon, but it looked like she was in a business when she threw that food out the window.
Right. I believe a real woman, so you would rather all of your kids not eat than at least go ahead and have one of your kids fed and then figure out how to feed the other 3. So at least one of the kids is fed. I
Mhm.
told my wife, I said, look, if it's really not hard, take that one meal and split it up and feed the 4.
Right.
At least
Yeah,
at
if
least
it's-
all 4 of them can at least have
Right.
something to eat.
Right. He doesn't
You
know
know.
what happens once you take that food in the house.
Right.
When you take that burger, that was
Right.
not a Happy Meal.
Right.
That child had a full meal.
Right.
Right.
So depending on the age, just split it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that could have been
Maybe next time he'll
handled.
tell his dad.
But
Bring more than one.
definitely
Yeah.
wasting food and throwing that food out
Yeah.
on the street. That was
Mm-mm.
dumb. There's a lot of levels of pettiness to that video.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that he's wrong, there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
that I see that obligates him to take care of those other kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now a man takes care of kids because he wants to.
Okay.
Being someone who is a stepfather. I don't consider him to be a stepson, but by definition
Mm-hmm.
it is. But that's a decision that I made.
Mm-hmm.
You
And not only that, you taking care of kids that are not
Right.
ours at all.
Right.
You help with.
But that's a
So,
decision. There's nothing
Right.
that obligates me to do that. Nobody can come back and say, well, you should have done that. No, that should be something that I do out of the kindness of my heart, because because God's love, not because there's some obligation. If that obligation is not there, then don't force them to do that. And again, where are these other men? Where's their energy towards these other men that you've had? Because some of the language that was said leads me to believe that there's more than one other baby, like there may be three. Because she said you said something about the other baby.
Yeah, she has three other children.
I don't right.
But
Well, she has three other children. I don't know how many other
at the
babies.
same
Oh,
token,
okay.
Right.
this young lady and man have been in a relationship, and he knew. To me, he probably knew what he was getting into. She had 3 children when he met her. So, those children have built a relationship with him too. I know we say, well, they're not his responsibility, but his son is his responsibility. And he should want his son in a healthy environment, an environment with his siblings that are healthy. So he should want the mom to do well, because if mom isn't doing well, children are not doing well. So all of those things affect his child's life. So we can say, no, he's not obligated, but any father who wants their child to have a healthy lifestyle at home, who wants them to be in a safe environment, a loving environment, will do what he can to make sure there's no chaos and no fighting over a Happy Meal because your dad brought it. So I think you have to look at the situation as a whole, not just it's just his son. That whole environment involves his son, the mom, the other children, where they live, all that is his son.
Right, but he was doing that at some point, and she admitted that he was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But the relationship was no longer there.
Right.
So
But his son is still there.
To what end? So if he, I saw somebody posted, well, if he buys his son a bike, he's got to buy 3.
No.
If he buys his son school clothes, he's got to buy all 4 of them school clothes. Like, again, where are these other men? Where's the onus on these other fathers? So it's basically like she's making him pay for all the men that are not doing what they're supposed to do in their kids' lives, and that's not fair. That's you can't put all of that responsibility on him now. Where's the responsibility to these other fathers that you should be making them bring McDonald's, making them do what they're supposed to do. That full responsibility. He mentioned his checking account. So I'm supposed to go in my checking account and pay for. Again, to what end? I understand that he may have built some relationship with these kids or whatnot, but it comes to a certain point where, okay, we're not together. I'm doing the best to take care of my son, my kid. Where are these other men at? Again, there's just no responsibility I feel for him to continue to do that. Now, if he wants to do that, fine, but to put him on blast like that, like he should be doing that.
And I disagree that she should not have went on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that the social media feedback she received was what she was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
She was expecting to put him out there and everybody to be on her side, but it turns out that went kind of opposite of what she was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still, strong with my opinion that, the home is very important. A place where children should feel safe and sheltered and comfortable and protected from everything that's going on outside is at home. And anything that's going to come in that home that's going to cause a problem, that's going to cause these children to have strife against each other, that's going to cause the harmony in that home to be off, then as a mom, I don't want that to happen. So whatever I have to do to keep the peace in my home, I'm going to do that. Now, would I have done what she done? Definitely not. I would have had a conversation with the father, explain the situation, let him know what I like him to do. And if he could not do that, then, like we were saying, come get your son, spend some time with him, then bring him back. But don't come with, the food for the one child.
But as a mom, you would do that. So as a mother, you have to take that responsibility and build that relationship. You mentioned, I take something from Dr. Swenson. You have to be a bridge.
Right.
Bridges are made
right.
on. So you have to, you're going to have to, be that bridge to kind of bridge these gaps and to, make things happen. So you have a conversation with him. He's about to spend $10, $15 at McDonald's, because these meals aren't cheap. You ask him, can you just give me the $10 or $15? I'll order pizza. Or I order, a meal, or I go to the grocery store.
Yeah, or something.
I go to the grocery store and buy some, whatever.
It's
And-
obvious
but
there's a need
clearly-
in the house.
Yeah,
There's a need.
but clearly those two didn't have that. I don't think they have the type of relationship where you're saying,
Right.
sit down and let's talk. I just don't think that they are in that space.
Well, they
right
have been
now.
talking because she said I told you. So they have been
Well,
talking. So I
talking
think
respectfully to each
Right,
other.
yeah.
I don't know if they have that type of relationship. I just don't know.
right. She's talking down to him, not talking.
Yeah.
If you talk to him and not at him,
Mhm.
I would feel that again. He seemed like a reasonable guy. Just in this little snippet, he seemed like a reasonable guy. He just probably somebody that's fed up. If you talk to somebody, if you talk to a man, and say what it is that you really need, and come to him respectfully. Again, we're talking about respect. You come to him respectfully. There's no end to what he would do. He would sacrifice, something that he don't have to make that happen. Because that is the right thing to do. I'm not saying that it wasn't the right thing to do. I'm just saying that he shouldn't have any recourse or backlash because he didn't do it.
Yeah.
right, there are things that both of them could have done differently that would have made this situation better. Like I said, my concern is for the children because, especially if they were there to witness what happened. So people don't understand that things that happen in your children's lives when they are small and when they're children, it impacts them for the rest of their lives. So if she have daughters, what are her daughters gonna think? What will they do? Then the sons. So those are all things that concern me. Were the children there? Who all witnessed it? So to me, it's bigger than just that one McDonald's meal.
So in the final thoughts, your position is
He should have brought she should have had a conversation before he came to explain. Well, it sounds like they did have a conversation, but she should have made it clear what was needed in order for him to come. And if he was going to come, knowing that there are 4 other children at home and that there is a need there and that they were hungry, he should have had brought food for everyone or made arrangements to pick up his son, take his son out, and bring him back, but not arrive with food for one person when there are 3 other children in the home.
so ultimately your position is she was wrong. Oh no.
She
wrong.
was wrong. There is no right. No, neither person in this situation was right. It just
Okay.
could have been handled
Okay.
better.
Okay. Okay. And Milton, your position is
You're right. There's no right or no wrong because ultimately, at the end of the day, the ones that hurt the most is the children because they're the ones. I'm not sure if they went to bed hungry or not, and I definitely, me and my wife, we do stuff in the community, as far as feeding. So we definitely have a heart for children or families that are in need as far as food. So those are the real victims in this. I just just me being a man and a black man, we deal with so much,
right.
and to have somebody come at you that way, from internal, that's hurtful. So, my thing is, hey, let's, he could have handled it better, but again, to what end? Because if if you encourage this behavior, she's just going to continue to do it just to get what it is that she wants.
Right. So your position is he's not wrong. Well, he could have handled it better, but he's not obligated to.
Right. It's
to do for those
definitely
children.
not. There's nothing obligating him to do.
Mhm.
And that's kind of when we first talked about it.
Mhm.
There's nothing that obligates him
Right.
to do that. And again, to what end?
Mhm.
Where does that stop?
Mhm.
Every time all 4 of the kids, have a need, the
Mhm.
oldest one could have a need. You're gonna call me or you're gonna call
Yeah.
their father. Who are you gonna call first?
Yeah.
You're probably gonna call me first because you feel like you're gonna get it from me, and the other guy is a deadbeat and he's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But you're gonna give me that energy that you should be giving him, and that's not right.
Mhm.
Because I'm going to take care of mine, and he is taking care of his child.
Mhm.
So I think she turned the energy to him, saying, "Oh, everybody think that you're a good dad." Well, technically, I mean, if he's taking care of his kid and he's feeding his kid, I mean, technically he is. He's not doing what you want him to do for all your kids, but they're not his. And I think too, if we want to take this a little deeper, I think that she wants to, still probably want to have that relationship too.
Mhm. You think so?
Yeah. I think that's part of that.
Something that you just said stood out to me. You said that she said people think that he's a good dad.
Mhm.
Well, she was saying that he's not a good dad because he wasn't providing for those other 3 children. That's what it sounded. You know, he
Right.
wasn't bringing. And so she was dead wrong in
Right.
that statement for saying he's
Right.
not a good dad for providing for you, for not providing for other men's children because he's not obligated.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that was a good point right there.
Right. You really have to listen.
Mhm.
Listen to that. I looked at it multiple times. I even looked at it again
Mhm.
before we started this, and just to kind of make sure I really
Mhm.
got as much as I could out of it. And then again, for us to be, talking about this video again, this is just a small snippet in a really big
Mhm.
grand scheme of this relationship.
Because in this conversation of men taking care of, should men be obligated to take care of another man's children if you're dating him or not? This conversation is been ongoing on social media. These 2 people in particular are trending, of course, because she posted that video.
Mhm.
But this is the conversation that has been going on and on and on. And I follow various YouTube pages and groups and whatnot. And I hear a lot of men saying that they are tired. I've heard some men say that being a stepfather is a thankless job. So I do hear the conversation. Some men are saying, hey, they're tired. So I don't know. I just know that my position is, I'm with you. He's not obligated to bring those other children food. Now, does my heart hurt to vision, a one baby sitting there eating food and other
Right.
babies sit.
That's
Yeah,
tough. It's tough.
yeah. So he's not obligated. She was wrong for throwing the food in the street. It's just,
It's a
I
bad
just,
situation.
and I just.
Let me add this in.
Mhm.
So even I had a video started and what I can see so many ways that this could have went differently.
Mhm.
Even after she did all of that, I think if she just would have backed it down
Mhm.
and just respectfully asked him, "Will you please
Mhm.
go get my other kids something?"
Mhm.
I'm asking you, baby. I don't have any money. I don't have my food. My food stamps don't come in.
Mhm.
But you're talking and you're not talking to him.
Right.
If you back that down and you ask him in a way
Mhm.
that's respectful. If he has an extra $5 to $10 in his bank account,
Mhm.
I know a lot of people struggling, pandemic, a lot of stuff going on. But if he has an extra, those Little Caesar piece, I'm not making a plug for Little Caesar, but $5-6 will buy you a pizza
Yeah.
that everybody can get at least 2 slices.
Mhm.
Or even some of the other ones, carry out deals, $7, $8. You can go get a pizza and bring that pizza back.
Yeah.
Not everybody eats, at least that night.
Mm-hmm. And then, like Udrika said, I was saying Happy Meal, but like Udrika said, it was a full size burger.
Right.
So she could have taken it. All of her
Worst
children
case.
are small. Yeah, worst case.
Mhm.
Take that burger and just tell him thank you. Take the burger and stuff in and just ration it out to all of the children if it was really that bad.
Right.
We talked about the video that she posted, her hair and everything. She looked very well put together. So,
Okay.
I don't know if the struggle is as
Real.
bad as she,
Right.
was putting on. I don't know.
I don't think it was either. I don't think that you go in the house and it was bare cupboards
Mhm.
in there. I don't think that.
It's probably some
But
some
yeah.
pasta, some-
It's something, but
Yeah.
it's still, even if it is, we all know the kids like fast food and McDonald's
Mhm.
and stuff. It's still gonna be a problem
Mhm.
if we're sitting there eating oodles and noodles and
Yeah.
little brother got McDonald's and then he had that huge drink. I'm like,
Mhm.
how old is this kid? Because he doesn't even need a drink this big and,
Right.
and
Take it and split it.
all this
So
food in his bag for this one little kid. I just
Mhm.
there's so many things I saw wrong with that video. I could probably continue to talk.
And that young man, the young father, was probably being a little petty. Was in his way thinking,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get this big meal and just let her go on and share with all of the kids. But she was so enraged with anger, she didn't even realize that. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, they were probably a little, but again, like you're saying, men are tired.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably his way of being petty, clapping back, whatever, whatever
Mhm.
people say these days. But
Yeah.
Everyone needs to make better decisions, though.
Mm-hmm.
The women need to make better decisions. Men need to make better decisions. Children are big responsibilities.
Yeah.
Okay, you had one. All right, then you get two. And I'm not downing anyone, but at what point do you look at yourself and realize, okay, this is This is the job. When do men look at women and actually think, okay, this is the person that's going to be raising my child. This is going to be my legacy. You know, is she going to be the right type of a good mother for my child? Different things that, you know, number one, I believe it should be done in marriage. People should be married. But everyone in these situations needs to make good decisions. Adults need to be adults. They need to think. They need to make good decisions. And they need to think about the consequences of what happens when they make those decisions.
Absolutely. Well, this was a good conversation.
Yes,
It was a very good conversation. Yeah, thank you all for, you don't have to say thank you. But anyways, I do appreciate you all joining my panel. And you all know that we can, when you all go back to Florida, that, you know, we can still do panels. You all don't have to be here with me. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, I will, you know.
We'll coordinate.
Yes, I would love to have you all back because there's a lot of stuff out there to discuss and, you know, and put action in place. Because like you said, you all do community service and stuff, and charity is dear and near my heart. You know, because Mom was a big giver, and I think I got it honest, and you got it honest too. So, you know, just talk about things that we can put in place to change the course of a lot of things. So, you all are leaving tomorrow morning, so of course I have to wish you all a safe trip back. And again, thank you so much for joining my panel. And I have to admit, I was trying to go live on my YouTube channel, and my computer was acting so fickle. So I think thank my brother-in-law for going live on his Facebook page with me. I'm going to share this video to my YouTube. With that being said, anything else you all want to add? Thank you all so much. You all provided. I love what you all said. And like you all said, there's really no right or wrong. You know, things just could have been handled better. Definitely. So thank you so much, Milton. I'm gonna need you to share this video with me so that I can download it to YouTube. So thank you all, and thank you all for watching. Milton, some people were commenting. You can go back and answer and stuff. Yeah. And remember, I am my sister's mirror. Right. And you all like and share this video as well. And check out my YouTube channel. And their youngest son, MJ, I'm putting him on the spot, is going to have a gaming channel coming soon. Yes. So you all are going to have to check that out too. We're going to get creative with the name. But anyways, look for that coming soon. And you all have a wonderful long holiday weekend. And again, thank you. Please like and share this video and visit my YouTube channel as well.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure anymore.